Trace here. I'm back for another Kanzashi project, and today I've been making a Kanzashi tree, and I've been really wanting to make this. They're so beautiful, so I'm excited to accomplish this. I have purchased this foam cone at the dollar store at Dollar Tree, and so it is the measurement of 6.9 inches by 2.9 inches, and so I'll be needing that for sure. I needed some green satin ribbon, and you need to find it for the measurement of 1.5 inches. But you're going to need quite a bit of this, and as I go along I will let you know exactly how much. I just don't know at this point exactly how much I need, but I will let you know. And so I'll need to be cutting the pieces up for that, and I'm normally use a rotary cutter and a self-healing mat. My blade on my rotary cutter is a little dull, so I'm not going to do that method today. I'm just going to cut my pieces with some scissors, and these scissors have only been used by ribbon, so they're nice and sharp still. So you do want a nice sharp pair of scissors. And I made myself a little template here, and this is out of some plastic, and this is 1.5 inches, and it's a square. So this really helps me to know exactly where I need to cut each little piece. So also I'm going to need some felt for the back of the project when I'm finished, just to make it look really nice. And also some flat back gems. These I'm going to add to the petals around randomly to resemble some ornaments on the tree. And of course a candle is the preferred method of mine, and a hot glue gun and some glue sticks, and I really like a silicone mat underneath. And I believe that is all. So I'm going to get started on cutting some pieces. So the first thing you want to do is cut up probably the entire roll of the ribbon, and you most likely need several rolls of this green ribbon because there are going to be a lot of petals that you're going to need. So I use my template here and my scissors, and I just line it up. And normally, like I said, I like the rotary cutter, and it just goes a lot faster. But it was dulling and pulling at the fibers of the ribbon here, so I didn't want to damage it. So I'm using my scissors this time around. So you want to just cut up as much as you can, like I said, the entire roll, and then some, and I will be right back. So the next step is to form your petals. So all of the cut pieces here, you're going to form into petals. So, and I've got a candle here that I use, and you'll need an angled tweezers. That I really like the angled part of it. I think that's the best way to go. So what you want to do to form this petal, and also if you've never done any Kanzashi before, have seen it before, I do have several videos on my channel if you want to refer to those, and I will definitely have upcoming more videos on Kanzashi. I just think it's a really fun craft, so you'll be seeing some more of those. Okay, so back to the fold. So this is very similar to a fold that I've done before, only there's just one step that is omitted to make it a little bit better to hold onto the edge of the foam here. So what I will do is, from corner to corner, I'm going to fold it in half, just like that, and you can crease that in the middle if you'd like to. And then you're going to, on the fold part here, this corner to this corner. So you're going to fold it once more to make a triangle. You can crease that if you'd like to. And then once more, gets a little small. From this corner to this corner, you're going to fold one more time. And make sure you do have all of these edges lined up. And at this point, if it frays a little bit, don't worry, because the flame will actually take care of any of your frays. So what you want to do is get your scissors, and you want to cut a small amount of this part here. And so this is your folded corners, and this is where you're going to be seen mostly. So you do want to make sure that's nice and even. So all you're going to do is even off these little peaks here. Just the smallest amount. You want it to just be straight across. And you will have a lot of little pieces. Sometimes I use a little box or a little plastic container to hold all of those pieces that fly around, because they're definitely going to get all over the place. So next you want to take your tweezers and you want to pinch that right there, right at the very edge, and you're going to heat fuse all of these pieces together. So what you're going to do is come very close to the flame, but not touching it. So the heat of the flame will actually fuse it together. There is an element in there that is plastic, and it will just melt those all together and fuse them. So it's really cool how that works. Then the next step would normally be where we would cut this peak right off, because that is the back side of the petal. So what you're going to see is mostly here. And so that's the step that you're going to omit for this particular project. We want it to stay in this flat orientation right here, because this is back part here is going to be where it's going to attach to your cone. What you need to do is close that up a little bit by holding it with your tweezers, and you're going to heat fuse that whole edge. Now make sure that is nice and secure. Just pinch that with your tweezers there, making sure there's no openings. And while it's still a little warm, I like to form it a little bit. You can put your finger in there just to form that, make sure it's nice and pretty and rounded. And then I just kind of put it aside and let that cool, and it should hold that shape nicely. So that is what you're going to do continuously for all of your petals. And so far I have a whole jar full of petals here, and I most likely will need some more. But I will give you a count as I go along, row after row, and I'll let you know exactly how many petals that you're going to need for that. So I will be right back. I'm going to start and open up this plastic here, and I'm going to show you how I am going to attach those to the cone. So before I get started on gluing those petals onto the foam, I want to go ahead and get a measurement of the bottom here before I start to put the petals, because once I do, it'll be impossible to get this exact shape. So I'm just going to use a scrap piece of paper and just draw out the bottom circle here just to get my shape. And I'll use that as a template for the piece of foam later on at the bottom. So I've got my hot glue gun all heated up, ready to go, and I've got my jar of petals and my cone. So all you need to do is to run a line of glue right on the edge of this here, and this one happens to have a little groove in it just to get me started. So all I'm doing is gluing it right to the edge and just holding that so it cools. Eliminating any excess glue, which you really aren't going to see very much of it. And I was first worried about painting the whole cone prior to, but as we went along and things like that, it's going to cover up this entire cone, so you are not going to see any of the cone itself. So once that is cool and secure, go on to your next one. I do recommend putting the glue on the petal itself and then putting it down. So then just placing it right next to it at the edge. Giving it a little bit of room to breathe. Let that cool. So you can see what that's going to look like and how beautiful that's going to be. So I will continue on with this row, and I will let you know exactly how many petals it took for this first row. So I finished the first round of the petals, and you can see how gorgeous it's going to be already. So pretty. And here's a little bit of the back. So that's 32 petals. And so then you continue on to the next row by doing the same thing, putting some glue along the edge here. And I'm putting a good bit of glue because I really want them to be nice and secure. And then you're going to go in between a set of petals here, and I'm just kind of sticking my finger in and letting that really grasp and cool before I move on to another one. So that's going to go right in between, and the next one's going to go in between those, and so on and so on. And I will be back with the count from the next row. So I have just finished row 2, and there are 32 petals, just like row 1. Row 1 has 32, and row 2 has 32 also. So look at how gorgeous, though. Isn't that really cool? So I will continue on and finish this up, and I will have to stop and change gears a little bit. This is my jar of petals, so I'm obviously running out. So I'm going to have to make some more petals and then continue on. So I will do that, and when I get to the very top, I will come back with you. So I am back, and it's been several days of working on this. I must say this is definitely a project that is going to take you some time, at least 2 to a week, 2 days to at least a week, depending on how much you work on it. It's definitely not something you're going to accomplish in just a couple hours. As you can see, it's gorgeous, and there's a ton of petals, and not quite finished. I'm going to finish this up, but it is a lot of work. It's absolutely fun. I had a blast. It comes together so beautifully, and I'm really pleased with how it turns out so far. Here is a list of each row that I did. I kept track of how many petals it took for each row, and it was a total of 16 rows, and the complete total of petals is 369 petals. This is a lot of petals. And 4 spools of ribbon is what you're going to need to purchase. And this is about what I had left. So there's not a whole lot left. So 4 spools is a good count. And I was going to do a couple of things that I'm changing up. I purchased these here. I was going to put inside or at the edge of the petals, and I felt that they're a little too big. So I went to Walmart and found these really gorgeous crystal flat back gems. So they're really pretty, and they're smaller, so they will balance on the inner part of this circle here. And I'm going to attach them kind of randomly, and I'm going to use some E6000 glue. This is my favorite for jewelry making and anything with metal and that kind of thing. So I'm changing that up a little bit. And also for the topper, I am going to do a couple things. I have, of course, this styrofoam still exposed, and I was trying out some things. I put a few of these extra petals on top, and I really didn't like that too much. So I'm going to put, this is all my scraps that I've been saving from cutting off, and there's so many of them. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue on the top here and in these little grooves here. And I'm just going to kind of stick a little bit of these on here so you can't see the styrofoam, just to camouflage the color. And not that I don't know if you won't see it, but just in case, then the white won't show. So I thought of just using that. And also for the very top, I wanted to do an angel, and in the next few videos of Kanzashi, I'll probably show you how to create an angel, and I do have one that I love, and I just don't have the time at this time. So, but I will be showing you how to do an angel, which will be gorgeous at the very top. And so for now, I'm going to be putting a mini tree topper bow. And so I've created this bow here, and once it gets on, I will kind of fiddle with it and make it fit nicely. So I'm just going to attach the bow right at the top as like that. So it'll be really pretty as well. But look for that angel video that I will be having soon, probably in the next few weeks or even within the month of December. So I'm going to glue these on, and I will show you the finished project. So I just finished this Kanzashi tree, and I am so excited about it. It's so pretty. It's better than I expected. If you can kind of see, I can get it all in there. You can see the gems that are shining, the crystals here every now and then. I will have other pictures, and there'll be other pictures on the blog itself too. I just wanted to quickly go over some things that made it a little easier for me. When you're doing the little crystals, the best way to put it on, E6000 glue is really hard to channel where you want it to go, especially on a tiny little gem like this one. So what I do is I kind of keep it flat. So flatten it out, and then I use my tweezers. But I also squeezed out some of this glue onto this little candle holder thing to form the petals. So this was left over. And so I just squirted some glue in there. And then this is a stick from a match that lights the candle. And so I just broke off the burnt part there. And so I'm able to pick up the gem with my tweezers like this, grab some glue from this container and dab it onto the back of the gem, and then put it on to the tree, and then I kind of pushed it down with my fingers so the glue would attach to the petal very well. So that's how I did the gems, and they really stick nicely. The E6000 is awesome glue. It's nice and secure. So remember too that I traced the bottom before I even started. So I cut that out, and then I also cut it out of some felt. So the bottom is nice and secure for any surfaces that you want to keep it on. So that concludes that. Thank you so much for watching. I am so excited about it. I will be doing an angel in a few weeks, and so the angel will look perfectly. I do want to make some more. This one here I'm giving away as a gift, but I'm going to definitely make more for myself, and my daughter said she wanted one too. So I'll be making more. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, have a good day. Bye-bye.